aboard Princess and P&O Cruises. You've chosen an exciting career with a company rich in seafaring history. Both Princess and P&O Cruises are owned by the Peninsula and Oriental Steam Navigation Company, P&O, which was founded in 1837. Then, as today, P&O's signature has always been excellence. We strive to be the best at everything, from outstanding service to sophisticated technology and excellent safety standards. Safety is a daily priority on board our ships. So whether you've sailed with us before or you're new to Princess and P&O Cruises, everyone will be given 3 standard safety inductions. These inductions will cover the basics of shipboard safety, but are by no means the only training you'll receive. On our ships, safety training is an ongoing process, and you'll be expected to participate and become proficient in all safety procedures necessary for your job and emergency duties. Soon after joining, you'll receive a photo identity card, sometimes called a Laminex. It is imperative for security purposes that you carry this ID with you when entering or exiting the ship. Be careful not to lose your photo ID. If you do, disciplinary action will be taken. Also, you must never carry parcels on or off the ship for other people, as you may be held responsible for the contents. Unfortunately, international terrorism and crime are potential threats. It is your responsibility to ensure that the ship's security measures are followed for the safety of fellow crew members and our passengers. If you should ever have any questions or concerns regarding security, speak immediately to the ship's security officer. Now, let's turn our attention to the heart of this video: safety at sea. On our modern ships, emergencies are rare, and it is doubtful that you will ever encounter a real shipboard emergency. However, you must be thoroughly prepared and know just what to do in certain emergency situations. Soon after joining your ship, your head of department or supervisor should have provided you with this: your blue card. This blue card is important to you, because within it you will find the safety information vital to you while you're on the ship. If at this time you don't have a blue card, check with your head of department or supervisor as soon as possible. On the front of the blue card, you will find your department number, your crew alert position, and crew alert duties, and the lifeboat or life raft you're assigned to. Also, if it applies, the blue card will indicate your abandoned ship duty. Inside the blue card, you will find a summary of the actions to perform in the event of an emergency. The blue card is convenient and exceptionally useful. Always keep it in a secure place, and carry it with you to all drills and during an actual emergency. The information found on the blue card is also available on the muster list, posted in crew areas. Fire is a safety threat anywhere, but at sea, fire can be especially devastating. The most effective way to fight fire is to prevent it from happening. Smoke only in designated areas. Never throw a cigarette over the side of the ship. It can easily be blown back on board. Always thoroughly put out cigarette stubs, and never smoke in bed. Also, take precautions against fire while working, especially if your duties involve heat and hot objects. Fire prevention is the best safety action available. But what should you do if you discover smoke or fire? Your very first action should be to press the nearest fire alarm, which will alert the bridge. You will not hear the alarm, but it will alert the officer of the watch, who will call the assessment party. You should then close the nearest door to help contain the fire and evacuate the area. To contain an area filled with smoke or fire, you may need to close fire doors. To do so, simply press the switch that is near the door. If it is possible, telephone the bridge with a report, and then wait for the assessment party and tell them what has happened so far.
Okay, what have you discovered?
I'll repeat. If you find smoke or fire, the most important thing to do is to press the fire alarm. If the fire is small, you can make one attempt to extinguish it, providing you do not endanger yourself. To use a fire extinguisher, simply pull the safety clip and squeeze the handles. There are several different types of fire extinguishers used on our ships. However, the same color-coded system is always used. A red-marked fire extinguisher is filled with water and should be used on wood and furniture or fabric fires. A cream-marked extinguisher contains foam and should be used on liquid fires. An extinguisher marked with black should be used on electrical fires. And lastly, a blue-marked extinguisher can be used to put out all types of fires. As a reminder, all of this information is easily found inside your blue card. During a fire, it may be necessary to leave a smoke-filled area. To do so, crawl on the floor where the air is clearer. Follow the low location lighting to reach an exit. All the ships in our Princess and P&O Cruises fleet carry an array of sophisticated equipment and trained personnel to swiftly deal with any situation. Upon notification of a problem, the officer of the watch will call for the assessment party to assemble.
This is the bridge. Attention assessment party. Assessment party, proceed to crew.
The assessment party, made up of key personnel, will then handle the situation. At this time, it is your responsibility to continue your work and conduct business as usual. When the assessment party has solved the problem, the officer of the watch will announce, "Assessment party, stand down." However, if the assessment party determines that it is necessary, the crew alert will be sounded. This is the continuous ringing of the alarm. At this time, you should stop all work, go to your cabin, and get your life jacket. There are several types of life jackets in service on our ships. Put on warm clothing and a head covering, and bring any necessary medications with you. Put your life jacket on securely. You will be shown how to do this during your first safety induction. Additional life jackets are kept on the boat decks. Leave your cabin and go directly to your crew alert position, which is on your blue card. Once you're in position, you should carry out your assigned emergency duties. The next signal you may hear is the general emergency stations, which is 7 short and 1 long blast on the alarms and the ship's whistle. This means that all passengers are to go to their cabins, collect the life jackets, warm clothing, and medications. Then they are to proceed to their muster stations. A muster station is a designated area where passengers are required to assemble in the event of an emergency. It is usually in a public room, near the lifeboats and life rafts. If you hear the general emergency station signal before the crew alert, you should respond as if it were a crew alert.
This is the bridge, ship's company to boat muster stations.
The next step is the call to boat muster stations, which is a verbal command from the bridge. This signal sends crew to their designated lifeboat or life raft.
Purser, purser, this is the captain.
If necessary, the abandoned ship signal would be given verbally by the captain.
Abandon ship. I repeat, abandon ship.
This is the final step of evacuation in an emergency. Abandoning ship is an unlikely event, but if it should be necessary, it is crucial that everyone performs their safety duties quickly and efficiently. Lifeboats and life rafts are found on the boat decks on both the starboard and port sides. If you're facing the front of the ship, starboard is to the right side and port is to the left side. Lifeboats are identified by a number, odd numbers to starboard and even numbers to port. Life rafts are also used to abandon ship and are either inflated and boarded at the embarkation deck or inflated and boarded at water level. Life raft muster stations are found at or near the boat decks. Certain crew members are assigned to be in charge of the lifeboats and life rafts. They are required to go through extensive onboard training which demonstrates the proper use of all life-saving appliances. Some ships' crew will be assigned the role of door checker. It is a door checker's duty to stand by the exit doors and count out the passengers as they go to their designated lifeboats and life rafts. In the unlikely event of an emergency, never be tempted to jump over the side of the ship. It is hard to survive in the open water. Remember, the ship is the best lifeboat. If at any time during your employment at Princess or P&O Cruises you have questions about any of these procedures, ask your head of department, supervisor, or safety officer. Or refer to the Life-Saving Appliances Manual found in crew recreation areas or the safety booklets in your cabin. One rare situation you may need to respond to is man overboard. If you should see this happen, immediately throw a lifebuoy or anything that will float over the side of the ship to mark the spot. Then, immediately inform the bridge. The signal for man overboard is 3 long blasts on the ship's whistle. If you should see a medical emergency of any type, telephone the medical department immediately at the number given to you at the safety induction. Then, place the victim in the recovery position and wait for the medical team to arrive. There is another P&O policy that you should be aware of. Never dump anything over the ship's side, no matter how small. If you see something being dumped overboard, report it to an officer without delay. Help to keep our oceans clean by preventing pollution. We've just reviewed the actions necessary in an emergency. In all shipboard emergencies, it's essential that the correct evacuation route is used. For instance, never use elevators in an emergency. Always use stairways. Be well informed by knowing where emergency exits are located, especially where you work and near your cabin, and how they are marked. Only open a watertight door if there is no other way out. Use an emergency exit instead. And finally, never attempt to pass through a watertight door when the alarm is sounding or the door is closing. This is extremely dangerous. Concise communication is essential in the case of an emergency. Basic English is the language that should be spoken, using simple words. In addition to clear English, use appropriate hand signals to help direct passengers. Understand all the major safety signs you will see on the ship. And know the different emergency signals already discussed on this video. If you are ever in doubt as to what to do or what is happening, don't hesitate to ask an officer or fellow crew member. Safety at sea is important to us at Princess and P&O Cruises. It's important to all employees, no matter what their title. And it is extremely important to our passengers. Safety is just an extension of the excellent service we provide. To continue this level of excellence, it is crucial that you know what role you play in the event of an emergency. Review and make sure you understand the basic emergency signals. Know what to do if you detect either fire or smoke. First and most important, press the alarm. Know where to go and how to help in the unlikely event that the captain calls for crew and passengers to abandon ship. Refer to your blue card if you need basic information, or ask your head of department, supervisor, or safety officer for additional information. At Princess and P&O Cruises, everyone is responsible for running a safe ship. We have an excellent safety record. Let's continue that tradition by working together to maintain it. Once again, we welcome you aboard and encourage you to have a safe and enjoyable career on the magnificent ships of Princess and P&O Cruises.